All praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wawakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you true, sincere brethren out there pushing out this purified truth, cleansing this wicked, defiled kingdom with this word, and to the rest of the church out there who believe as well. The water to Yahweh Shai, because without him none of this would even be possible whatsoever.
U.S. Defense Panel has warned that the military is falling out of alignment with its key goals. The National Defense Strategy Commission submitted a report to Congress saying the U.S. needs to rebuild its military force capacity and capability in Europe. The document says that if the United States had to fight Russia in a Baltic contingency or China in a war over Taiwan, Americans could face a decisive military defeat. The Commission calls for budget caps on military spending to be removed, and it says the wars in Afghanistan, Syria, and Iraq are holding the military back, causing the U.S. to neglect so-called great power competition. Arvind Vohra, a 2020 presidential hopeful for the U.S. Libertarian Party, says overseas interventions have harmed U.S. national security.
The reason that Americans are in danger right now, and they are, is because the U.S. military is creating enemies. They are creating enemies in Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan, throughout the entire Middle East. We don't need to create more enemies. The United States is already spending more than the next several nations combined on military spending. I think what the report is reflecting is that the U.S. military has entirely lost sight of its actual purpose. The military's job is to keep the United States of America and our people safe at the lowest cost possible, to keep us safe with as low taxes as we can. And this move is a move in the wrong direction. We can be safer and have lower taxes if we have the courage to say America's defense is important, but defending Israel and Saudi Arabia and France, that's not our job.
Right, so just like you heard in this video, America pretty much needs to increase in its military, because here you have it. You have other nations out there getting prepared. America knows that these other nations are not weak like they used to be. So what is going to happen because of this? There is going to have to be a draft. And a lot of you feminist women out there, a lot of you lesbian women out there who claim to be G.I. Jane, you're going to be tested out there in that battlefield, because you're going to be forced to go out there and fight for Esau. And a lot of you women are going to be brutally raped. Okay? That is what's coming to America. So I'm going to jump to the book of Jeremiah, 51 and verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, speaking of America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And that destroying wind is going into the wave that comes from the nuclear fire. And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So different nations, such as China and Russia, okay, are going to come against America. Iraq, all right. NATO and the EU eventually is going to shoot arrows at America. Arabia, North Korea, South Korea, and the list goes on. All right. The Lord is getting these nations ready. For what? For World War III. That is going to be the end game of this place. That is the judgment of America. So let's jump to verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Now this is speaking of spiritually. For those of us who leave this place spiritually, will be delivered from these missiles. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. So we cannot deliver our own soul. But this is speaking of, if you're an Israelite, turn back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You don't have to worry about trying to seek shelter when the missiles come, because that's not going to help. You can dig 100 feet underground, that's not going to help you. All right? And even if you left America, that's not going to help you either. All right? Because the missiles are not just only going to be shot over here to America. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So when the missiles drop on this place, you're going to know that the Lord has finally shown you his anger. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that's why you have Russia and China speaking against America. Even this video said how America has made a lot of enemies, because America has made a lot of these nations mad. All right. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed, and Babylon's fallen right now. She is in a very weak condition before she ultimately gets finished by the firing squad. All right. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain, if so, she may be healed. And she can't be healed, man. Alright? Babylon doesn't just have blood leaking out of her body. Babylon's about to lose her head. The whole head of Babylon is about to be cut off. And what can you do about that? Put a bandage over it? Not at all. America's finished. As we like to say, America is on its last leg. But that last leg is being hacked at every day. And what is going to happen eventually? It's going to come tumbling down. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So the more exalted America is, the longer the fall, so it's going to be even harder once she hits that ground. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. Now you're going to have different nations going back to their own country, trying to get out of here. You're going to have others, they'll wait till the last minute and realize, well, damn, we need to try to get to our own country. It's too late. The missiles will only take about 25 to 30 minutes to get here from another continent. Okay? What are you going to do in 25, 30 minutes time? For some of you, you'll spend 15 minutes of it trying to take possession with you. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power. Make bright the arrows, which are them ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Gather the shields. The Lord had raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, and that's going in to Russia. Now, when you look at the original Medes, those would actually be the Samoans, or the Japhetic people. But today, they're Esau, because Esau took over the land of Japheth, or Gog and Magog. Okay? For his device is against Babylon, being America, to destroy it. So America is going to be destroyed, thus says the Bible. Because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So the Heavenly Father is about to rain terror on this place. And that is what you're seeing in this video, going into how America could lose the next war. But America is indeed going to lose the next war. But none of these other countries are going to be next in power either. All right? Next in power is the nation of Israel. Jeremiah 50:14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. And them arrows are going into them nuclear missiles. All nations with nuclear capability are going to shoot them arrows off. Alright? America's going to be hit with 200 million of them, as I would like to call the firing squad. America is going to be hit by the firing squad. Alright? Every single missile that has been created is going to be used. Everyone. And the Lord is going to make certain of it. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. So all ye who have nuclear missiles, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she had sinned against the Lord Yahweh. That's how angry the Lord is against America. And seeing these videos, it shows you that these things are right around the corner. But let's jump to the book of Matthew. 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So you're hearing of wars or rumors of wars, but the end hasn't come yet. And how do we know that? The missiles have not dropped on this place yet. Esau is still in power. For nation shall rise against nation. Okay, so just like this video is going into, America has made a lot of enemies. And going into how America could lose against China or Russia. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And that's happening right now. In diverse places, you have different things going on as we speak. Prophecies go bigger than what's happening in your neighborhood or what's happening in your city alone. The Lord is making moves all throughout the earth. So constantly you're hearing about bad things. When my mother was younger, she told me she never liked watching the news because it was always bad news. Well, how much more so today? Matthew 24:32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So you should be able to tell the season based off of the tree, based off of the weather, based off of the atmosphere. Okay? You should be able to have an idea of what season you're in. If it's hot outside, it's a beautiful day. It can't be winter. But I'll also say this, Esau has messed everything up so much to where it could be a hot day in the wintertime. Okay? Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When this branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So when it's snowing outside, you know it's winter. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. So when you see these things, know that it is near. What things? Prophecy. You're seeing prophecy coming to pass before your eyes. And the things that's being spoken of is wars. And nation going against nation. You're not really hearing of any peace. Now, if there's any prophet who claims to be a prophet, I should say, who's speaking of peace, you know that the Lord is not dealing with that prophet. He is known as a false prophet. He is a prophet of Satan. Okay? This is Jeremiah 23:17. They say, still unto them that despise me, the Lord hath said, ye shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walketh after their imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. So, in fact, let's jump back to 16. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain, they speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of the Lord. You literally have men out there who claim to be of the Lord, who are not talking about these things. They're not talking about the RFID chip. They're not talking about World War III and famines and things that are to come. Things that are already here, but things that are to come and increase on top of that. They're telling you everything's going to be all right. They're telling you you have time to just waste, and it doesn't matter. We all have our own opinion. Your right doesn't have to be my right. Your wrong doesn't have to be my wrong. No, there's one truth, man. All right, and you're getting it through the mouth of the Lord, which is his prophets. So anyone telling you everything is okay, he does not have the truth. Okay? You need to get away from that, man. Back to verse 17. They say still unto them that despise me, the Lord hath said, ye shall have peace. And they say unto every one that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. So you have to be aware of false prophets who's telling you, hey, everything's fine. Everything's not fine, man. Okay, here it is. We're in the season of America being destroyed, but even before then, all hell has to break loose. So how much sooner is hell going to break loose, seeing that America is already being talked about in terms of being destroyed? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Kahala Yahweh Ba Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.